Hey Trinity family, Pastor Nick here. It's been a little while since I've done a little update on COVID-19 and how we're responding as a church, and so I thought it was long past due for me to produce another one of these videos, just letting you know how we're handling it. We know that overall case counts are going down nationwide, which is exciting. There has been a little bit of a spike, but then it seems like that's kind of plateauing and turning around now and continuing to see a drop in cases. And that is good news. We're very excited because it means we're getting a little bit closer to being able to more fully reopen and things like that. But in the meantime, we're continuing to observe safety precautions. And the reason why we're doing that is we're proud to announce that to our knowledge, no one has caught COVID-19 as a result of being at in-person worship, not just at TKW, but at all of our sites. And we credit that to the fact that we know God is watching over us, but we're also being faithful stewards of our time together and taking precautions to protect one another. You can again see what precautions we're taking by visiting our website, tlcforyou.org/TKW. But probably the biggest things that we're doing is we're ensuring a good social distancing. We are wearing masks. We're cleaning between services, and we're ensuring that we don't have more than 100 people in a worship service at a time. That really has helped, I think, us to make it a safe space where everybody can come. And so if you're wondering, is it safe to worship in person at church? Our answer is yes. We believe it is because of the precautions that we're taking. And it has been a joy to see you all in person. So if you're wondering, can I come back to church? The answer is yes. We would love to see you. We'd love to see you this weekend. Go ahead and register. Let us know that you're coming so we're making sure that we've got the right numbers in those services and things like that. There is plenty of room, and we would love to see you. But I also know that a lot of people are asking questions about the vaccine. I've actually gotten some of them from you, people wondering not only is it safe, but how should we think about it theologically, biblically, morally, and ethically? And that's part of the reason why I'm posting a couple of resources here with this video. They're in your e-news, or if you're watching this on YouTube, they're right below. The links are right below this video. And I'm really giving you 4 resources that I want to point you to. The first is I'm pointing you to a letter that Pastor Martin Luther actually wrote in his day when he was facing his own pandemic. When the Black Plague was sweeping through Germany, he had a friend ask him, how should we as Christians think about this? How should we respond? How should we use things like medicine? What is our responsibility to our neighbors? And so on and so forth. And what's amazing is that this guy writing in the late medieval period had some very relevant advice for us even today. And so I would encourage you to take a look at that. The second is a website called Christians and the Vaccine, which is a partnership between theologians and scientists, all people of faith, addressing some of the deep questions that people have, health questions, theological questions, moral and ethical questions. And so far, this is one of the best resources that I've found for thinking wisely about this, and so we wanted to share that with you. The third is an interview with Dr. Francis Collins. It's a podcast. He's the director of the National Institutes of Health, which oversaw the development of the vaccine and its rollout, but he's also a person of deep biblical faith. He wrote the book, The Language of God, and he does a great job. He's being interviewed by a pastor, just talking about how do we think about this as Christians, and what is the relationship between medicine and faith when we face something like a pandemic. And then last but not least is another discussion between Francis Collins and Pastor Tim Keller, talking about what is our responsibility as Christians during a pandemic. And this was actually a podcast that they put together very early on in COVID-19, but I think it's still very, very helpful today for us to think about what do we do? How do we respond as people of faith? But even after looking at some of these resources, if you still have questions, you want to talk to me as your pastor about them, I'm including my email address and my office number here. You can reach out to me. But what I would ask is that you look at the resources first, because in many cases, they do a better job answering the questions than I do. But if you still are concerned after looking through that, I would love to chat with you and hopefully address your concerns. Our deepest desire is ultimately to be able to return to worship safely, to make sure that we no longer have to have all these restrictions, but the way that that's going to happen is with each of us doing our part to bring this pandemic to an end, to observing safety precautions, to following the best medical advice that we're being given, and to indeed do our duty as Christians to help protect and serve our neighbors through this pandemic. And that's why I'm sharing these resources with you. I hope that they're helpful. And if you have any further concerns, reach out to me. In all this, I'd love to see you this weekend. I hope to see you all in person. It has been such a joy to worship with you during this time, and especially as we're bringing our current series to an end. It'd be great to wrap it up as we look at the last gospel in the four gospels, the Gospel of John. So I hope to see you on Sunday. Take care, everyone.